We need so much more compassion, I think, for what women go through. We've not talked about it, right? Talking about your period, talking about menopause, talking about hormones. Men have the luxury, the privilege of not having to talk about it because it doesn't, they're not going through it. But when we think about sexual dysfunction and Viagra, right? And how quickly did that hit the market, is paid for and covered by insurance. Like, so men's sexual dysfunction and health is a top priority, but women's sexual health and sexual function is taboo to talk about. We don't want to talk about it. It's
Total
gross.
taboo.
It's scary, right? And it's so frustrating because if men want to have sex, they need another person, I think, for the most part, to do that with. Call me crazy, but for the most part. And the majority of our population around the planet is heterosexual. So that would say that women also need the same level of support for sexual health and satisfaction as men. And yet we have what, a tenth or less of investment into understanding what's going on with women's sexual health. Like the gap in attention and funding and priority is so blatantly obvious, and yet we still are barely making inroads in these different spaces. And then in others we're doing really well. So the gender pay gap is closing. Is it equal yet? No. In some places yes, and in others not. So we are making traction in certain areas, but then there's others where it's just phenomenally ignored.